Hello, and in today's presentation, I will be presenting my concept map for my informative speech that I will be presenting next week. And the topic I chose to deliver my speech on involves the brain and the body and their effects on attraction. So, when I was creating my concept map, I wanted to find out the basics of attraction and how attraction affects us, what biological processes are involved. And while I was doing my research, I definitely found it interesting to learn about how different hormones work together to influence our attraction towards others. And in addition to that, while I was fleshing out my concept map, I decided to take a few cues from the textbook's concept map. And that's also why you see a lot of questions versus just statements regarding my topic and how I went about expanding on my very general topic. And while I was fleshing this out, I was also intrigued about how attraction is not just a feeling, but it is also an evolutionary part of being a human being or a mammal, for instance, using scientific terms. So I wanted to delve deeper into finding out exactly if attraction is more than just a feeling. Is it only for evolution, or is it really just something that we experience within our guts, so to speak? And another one of the aspects that I wanted to really expound upon was how speech correlates with attractiveness. I've found the research for that to be very interesting as well. Another aspect of the brain and body's effect on attraction that I wanted to further research was in terms of my demographic, which more than likely is going to be filled with college students, as well as my professor who will be listening to my speech. I wanted to make the topic relatable as well, because all of us have experienced attraction at some point in our lives, and attraction is not only limited towards people, but we can be attracted to things and places as well. So, since we as human beings are naturally attracted to people, places, and things, well, how does attraction also influence our decision making? Which I think is another caveat that I felt was really important to include in my concept map, because when we are attracted to someone, we apparently do crazy things because of that attraction. And the next point that I wanted to research was, what are the ramifications for being attracted to someone? Like, how do our decisions affect us when we are attracted to someone else? And lastly, creating this concept map did help me to organize my thoughts for this speech, because initially when I was working on the thesis statement assignment, I had a general thesis, so it wasn't exactly as fleshed out as it is now since completing the concept map assignment. In addition to that, I am also used to doing concept maps because they are another way that I can flesh out my ideas and figure out exactly where I'm going with a particular topic without getting lost in the specifics. Or better yet, without getting lost in trying to figure out how am I going to talk about this particular topic. So I definitely have some ideas that have forced me to rework my thesis and make it more specific compared to the one that I had in the previous thesis statement assignment. Thank you very much for listening to my presentation.